Johnny Depp was once celebrated not only for his iconic film roles but also for his striking looks and undeniable charisma. Known for memorable performances in films like Pirates of the Caribbean and Edward Scissorhands, he rose to become one of Hollywood's most prominent actors. However, despite his fame, Depp's personal life was riddled with turmoil. Failed relationships, professional setbacks, and a highly publicized legal battle with his ex-wife Amber Heard led many to believe his career was over. Yet, against all odds, Johnny re-emerged, transformed, quieter, but radiating a renewed sense of confidence. This journey traces the evolution of a man shaped by hardship and resilience. Born on June 9, 1963, in Owensboro, Kentucky, Johnny Depp was the youngest of 4 children. His father, John Christopher Depp, was a civil engineer, while his mother, Betty Sue Palmer, née Wells, worked as a waitress. His childhood was far from stable, marked by frequent moves until the family eventually settled in Miramar, Florida, in 1970. When Johnny was just 15, his parents divorced, a turning point that deeply affected him. His mother later married Robert Palmer, whom Johnny admired and referred to as a major influence in his life. At age 12, Johnny's mother gave him a guitar, a gift that changed everything. Enchanted by music, he dreamed of becoming a rock star and soon began playing in local bands. Driven by this passion, he dropped out of Miramar High School at 16 to pursue music full-time. Though he tried to return shortly after, the principal advised him to chase his happiness, and Johnny did just that. In 1980, he joined a band called The Kids, which gained regional popularity in Florida. Hoping for greater success, they moved to Los Angeles and renamed themselves Six Gun Method, aiming for a record deal. But the road to stardom proved difficult. Johnny took odd jobs, including telemarketing, to survive. In December 1983, he married makeup artist Lori Ann Allison. Through her connections, Depp was introduced to the world of acting, setting the stage for the career pivot that would change his life. Unfortunately, his marriage and band didn't last. By 1985, both had dissolved. Nevertheless, Johnny pressed on. He briefly joined another group, Rock City Angels, and co-wrote the song Mary. While music was his first love, it was clear Johnny Depp's talents extended beyond the stage. Ethnically, Depp is of primarily English descent, with French, German, and Irish roots as well. He once claimed that his great-grandmother was of Native American heritage, either Creek or Cherokee, and also noted that one of his ancestors, Elizabeth Key, was among the first African Americans to successfully sue for her freedom in colonial America. These layers of identity, history, and influence all contribute to the complex portrait of a man who continues to reinvent himself, both publicly and personally. "It makes sense, I'm from Kentucky," Johnny Depp once said, though not everyone agreed. Native American news outlets pointed out that Depp had never lived in a Native American community. Some tribal leaders even labeled him a pretendian, a term for non-native individuals who claim native identity. The controversy intensified when Depp portrayed a Native American character in The Lone Ranger and named his band Tonto's Giant Nuts, a choice that drew sharp criticism. Although he was later adopted as an honorary son by Comanche Nation member LaDonna Harris, this act was symbolic and did not make him part of any official tribe. Yet, this was just the beginning of Johnny's journey. At age 20, he moved to Los Angeles with his band, hoping for a future in music. But after the band broke up, his path shifted unexpectedly. His ex-wife, Lori Ann Allison, introduced him to actor Nicolas Cage, who saw potential in him and encouraged him to try acting. Depp was intrigued. He had long admired James Dean and was captivated by Rebel Without a Cause. Thanks to Cage, Johnny landed an audition for Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Despite having no formal acting training, Craven's daughter was so impressed by Johnny that she convinced her father to cast him. He played the doomed boyfriend of the lead character, his first role. Though Depp admitted he never intended to be an actor, he kept getting roles because they paid the bills in a way music didn't. He starred in Private Resort, 1985, was briefly cast and then replaced in Thrashin', and took a minor part as a Vietnamese private in Oliver Stone's Platoon. His big break came in 1987 when he starred in 21 Jump Street, playing an undercover cop posing as a high school student. The show made him a teen idol, beloved by magazines and fans alike. But Johnny wasn't thrilled. He'd taken the role mainly to work with actor Frederick Forrest, and disliked the commercialism that came with fame. He felt the show forced him to sell an image rather than act from the heart. Still, it marked the start of something much bigger. Long before he became the daring, stylish figure known today, Johnny was a shy kid with a guitar. That guitar brought him to LA, and when music failed, acting found him. Stardom came swiftly and unexpectedly. One day he was selling pens over the phone, and the next, he was gracing magazine covers. But despite all the fame, Johnny never quite followed the usual script. Johnny Depp was always an unconventional presence, whether in appearance, beliefs, or the roles he took on. His identity drew scrutiny early on, especially when he claimed Native American heritage, a claim rooted in family stories he believed to be true. When he told the media, "I guess I have some Native American somewhere down the line," he wasn't being deceptive, he was sharing what he'd been told. However, controversy intensified when he portrayed Tonto in The Lone Ranger, a role some found offensive. The backlash was compounded by disapproval of the band he was part of and, despite being ceremonially adopted by Native American activist LaDonna Harris, many Native leaders did not accept him as one of their own. Still, Depp's charm, rebellious spirit, and natural talent distinguished him in Hollywood. From his early days as a teen idol on 21 Jump Street, he quickly grew disillusioned with fame, uncomfortable with being seen as just a pretty face. In the 1990s, his priorities shifted, he began choosing projects that held deeper meaning rather than simply box office potential. One of his early choices was Cry Baby, 1990, a quirky 1950s musical comedy that, despite its weak commercial start, later became a cult classic. That same year, he took on the unforgettable role of Edward in Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands. To prepare, Depp studied Charlie Chaplin's silent films, learning how to express emotion without words. His delicate, expressive performance earned him critical acclaim and his first Golden Globe nomination. The character even inspired scientists to name an extinct creature Cutanitula, due to its claw-like limbs, a nod to Depp's iconic role. Over the next few years, Depp continued to challenge himself with eclectic roles in films like Don Juan DeMarco, Dead Man, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Arizona Dream, and Ed Wood, another collaboration with Burton in which he played the eccentric filmmaker. Each performance was bold, unique, and often risky, but Depp never shied away. He wasn't interested in fame for its own sake, he was driven by the desire to grow as an artist. In Donnie Brasco, he held his own opposite Al Pacino as an undercover FBI agent, and in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he embodied the wild, erratic persona of writer Hunter S. Thompson. By the time he starred in The Ninth Gate, 1999, Depp had firmly established himself as an unpredictable, boundary-pushing actor, far from the TV heartthrob he once was. That same year, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. As the 2000s began, Johnny Depp had proven he could embody nearly any role, dark, passionate, melancholy, or bizarre, and had become one of the most compelling figures in modern cinema. Johnny Depp's career has been marked by a blend of eccentric roles and memorable performances. He brought charm and intrigue to the 2000 crime film Chocolat, set in a quaint French village, and quickly shifted gears in 2001, portraying a drug trafficker in Blow and a detective in the haunting crime horror From Hell. However, it was his portrayal of the quirky and unpredictable Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003, that catapulted him to global fame. Audiences were captivated by his humor and originality, a performance so transformative that it earned him his first major Hollywood nomination. Depp continued to explore diverse roles, playing a kind-hearted father in Finding Neverland, a reclusive writer in Secret Window, and a gunman in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. His long-standing collaboration with director Tim Burton produced a string of darkly imaginative films, including Sweeney Todd, Corpse Bride, Sleepy Hollow, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, with Sweeney Todd earning him a Golden Globe. He later found box office success with Alice in Wonderland and voiced the title character in the animated hit Rango, 2011. In 2020, he portrayed a war photographer in Minamata and brought historical figures to life in Public Enemies and Black Mass. He even stepped into the fantasy realm as the villainous Gellert Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series. Beyond acting, Depp founded his production company, Infinitum Nihil, and returned to music by forming the rock band Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. His versatility and charisma earned him the title of People's Sexiest Man Alive twice. Outside of Hollywood's spotlight, Depp's personal life has seen its share of highs and lows. He first married Laurie Allison on Christmas Eve in 1983 when he was just 20 and she was 25. Moving to Los Angeles with his band The Kids, Depp found early success, even opening for acts like the Ramones and Iggy Pop. Unfortunately, Laurie suffered hearing loss in one ear, ending her musical pursuits. Her new career as a makeup artist, and her introduction of Depp to Nicolas Cage, would change the trajectory of his life. Though their marriage ended in 1986, the two remained close, with Laurie continuing to support Depp publicly during his legal troubles with Amber Heard and keeping his last name professionally. In the late 80s, Depp was briefly engaged to Sherilyn Fenn and Jennifer Grey before dating Winona Ryder, his co-star in Edward Scissorhands. Their highly publicized romance led to his infamous Winona Forever tattoo, which he later altered to Wino Forever after their breakup in 1993. Johnny Depp began dating model Kate Moss in 1994, and their high-profile relationship lasted until 1998. The media often spotlighted their tumultuous romance. That same year, while filming The Ninth Gate, Depp met French singer and actress Vanessa Paradis. The connection between them was instant, and they retreated from the chaos of Hollywood to build a quieter life together. Their daughter, Lily Rose, was born in 1999, followed by their son, Jack, in 2002. Depp once reflected, "Being a father wasn't something I chose. It was fate, a part of the amazing journey I was on." Although the couple never married, their relationship spanned over a decade before they parted ways in 2012, remaining respectful toward one another even in separation. With that chapter closed, a more turbulent period began. Shortly after the split, Depp began dating actress Amber Heard, whom he met during the filming of The Rum Diary. Their relationship, which initially appeared to be just another Hollywood romance, soon turned toxic behind closed doors. They were married in a quiet courthouse ceremony on February 3, 2015. Just over a year later, on May 23, 2016, Heard filed for divorce and was granted a temporary restraining order. She accused Depp of physical and verbal abuse, especially when he was under the influence. Depp, however, denied the claims, stating that Heard was trying to manipulate the situation for financial gain. In August 2016, they reached a private settlement, and their divorce was finalized in January 2017. In a joint statement, they acknowledged the intense and unstable nature of their relationship but denied any malicious intent or false claims. As part of the settlement, Depp paid Heard $7 million, which she pledged to donate to charity, specifically, the Children's Hospital Los Angeles and the ACLU. Although their marriage was brief, the repercussions lasted for years. In December 2018, Heard published an op-ed in The Washington Post, identifying herself as a public figure speaking out against domestic violence. Though she didn't mention Depp by name, the implications were clear. This article reignited public scrutiny and legal battles, culminating in one of the most watched and controversial court cases in Hollywood history. The saga of Depp versus Heard, many believed, had ended with their divorce, but in reality, it had only just begun. The fallout would dramatically reshape Johnny Depp's life and image for years to come. She alleged that she had seen firsthand how powerful institutions often shield wealthy men, a claim that Johnny Depp believed severely damaged both his reputation and career. He insisted the accusations were not only false but also deeply harmful. In February 2019, Depp sued her for defamation, pointing specifically to three major claims in her Washington Post op-ed: the headline, her statement that she became a public figure representing abuse 2 years earlier, and her assertion that society protects men accused of abuse. Depp countered that it was he who suffered in their relationship and criticized the article for leaving out key context, such as his role in Pirates of the Caribbean, asserting that her allegations were unfounded. Amber Heard, however, did not remain silent. In August 2020, she filed a countersuit, accusing Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, of attempting to discredit her through a smear campaign. Her suit focused on 3 comments Waldman made to the Daily Mail in 2020, in which he accused Heard and her friends of fabricating abuse allegations, staging a scene at an apartment to manipulate police, and generally lying about the abuse. He also allegedly mobilized online petitions and social media to pressure brands like L'Oreal and studios behind Aquaman to drop her. The situation escalated further in October 2020, when Waldman was removed from the case after leaking confidential court documents to the press. That November, Depp lost a libel case against the Sun newspaper in the UK, and because Heard had not been involved in that trial, the judge allowed her US case to continue. In August 2021, the court ordered the ACLU to provide documentation regarding the charitable donations Heard had pledged, adding more complexity to the legal battle. The trial finally began in Virginia in April 2022 and ran from April 11 to June 1. It became a global spectacle, with both parties presenting starkly different narratives. Heard described Depp as violent and unpredictable, especially under the influence of drugs and alcohol, claiming she lived in constant fear. Depp, meanwhile, portrayed himself as the true victim, detailing emotional and physical abuse he said he endured at Heard's hands. The trial featured dramatic testimonies, audio recordings, video clips, and witness accounts from security staff, employees, friends, and expert analysts, captivating millions like a real-life courtroom drama. After 13 hours of jury deliberation, the verdict was delivered on June 1, 2022. The jury found Heard's op-ed to be entirely false and damaging to Depp's reputation, siding with his account of events. When she initially wrote those statements, her intention was to cause harm. In the defamation trial, Johnny Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and an additional $5 million in punitive damages. However, due to Virginia state law, the punitive damages were capped at $350,000. On the other hand, only one of Depp's former attorney Adam Waldman's statements was deemed false and defamatory in response to Amber Heard's counterclaims, resulting in Depp being ordered to pay her $2 million in damages. Following the verdict, Johnny expressed his gratitude to the judge, jury, and his legal team, stating, "The jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled." He hoped his pursuit of truth would inspire others in similar situations, encouraging them and those who support them to never give up. Although the parties later agreed to a settlement, Heard maintained it was not a concession of defeat. Depp's team confirmed that the jury's original verdict would remain, and Depp pledged to donate the $1 million settlement he received from Heard to charity. The case had implications far beyond the lives of two celebrities. It became a public display of how deeply personal pain can become entangled with public scrutiny. For Depp, the trial marked yet another turning point in a life already full of dramatic chapters. After years of legal turmoil and professional setbacks, he is making a notable return to cinema. His latest project, Day Drinker, directed by Mark Webb, stars Depp alongside Penelope Cruz, with whom he previously worked on Blow, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and Murder on the Orient Express. According to IMDb, the film follows a mysterious stranger who befriends a grieving bartender, leading to an emotionally charged narrative filled with secrets and surprising twists. Lionsgate executive Adam Fogelson expressed strong enthusiasm for the film, calling it a wildly commercial concept with outrageous turns, and praised Webb, Depp, and Cruz as the perfect team to bring it to life. Depp also made a striking appearance at the 2023 Cannes Festival, where he reflected on his journey. He openly addressed how the legal battle with Heard had affected his career, stating, "Did I feel blocked by Hollywood? You'd have to not have a pulse to think none of this is happening. It's a weird joke." Despite being asked to leave projects over allegations, Depp made it clear he no longer fixates on Hollywood's judgment. "I don't feel boycotted by Hollywood, because I don't think about Hollywood." Now, Depp is making headlines not for courtroom drama but for his unexpected transformation in Day Drinker. In the first promotional image shared by Lionsgate, Depp looks nearly unrecognizable. At 62, he sports silver hair, piercing blue eyes, a full grey beard, and a sharp blue suit. He's seen leaning quietly against a bar, holding a drink, his expression calm and introspective. The photo stunned fans, signaling not just a physical transformation but a powerful cinematic rebirth. Johnny Depp's latest appearance has stirred a wave of reactions across social media, with many fans initially not recognizing him in a widely shared photograph. Comments flooded in praising his transformation, with one user stating, "Johnny Depp absolutely rocking the silver fox look," while another added, "The grey looks great on him." The new image sparked a mix of surprise, joy, and nostalgia, reminding some of his portrayal as Gellert Grindled in Fantastic Beasts. Others made humorous comparisons, asking if he had become the "Stay Thirsty My Friends" guy. This stage of his style evolution has been dubbed his Silver Fox era, with fans passionately chiming in, "Grindle vibes," one wrote, and another mourned, "They never should have taken Grindled from us." The excitement over Depp's striking new look, complete with silver hair, a full grey beard, and a stylish suit, coincides with his return to American cinema in Day Drinker, his first major Hollywood role since the conclusion of his legal battle with Amber Heard in 2022. Directed by Mark Webb and co-starring Penelope Cruz and Mélanie Laurent, the film has been hailed as a significant comeback. Previously, Depp had appeared in Jean du Barry, a French-language period film, but Day Drinker marks his re-entry into mainstream English-language cinema. The plot centers around a lonely bartender who, while on a cruise, encounters a mysterious figure played by John Goodman, an encounter that pulls them both into a dark and chaotic criminal underworld. Combining drama, action, and unexpected twists, the film has already captured fans' imaginations. Lionsgate executive Adam Fogelson praised the collaboration, calling Depp and Cruz the perfect actors for each other. Beyond the acting, the film's makeup and costume departments have also received applause for their role in Depp's reinvention. One viewer remarked, "Shout out to the makeup department for the amazing transformation," while another joked that Depp could never play a role without the costume team doing half the work. His bold new look, complete with blue eyes and a flawless silver finish, has everyone talking, but perhaps nothing has drawn more attention than his teeth. In the early 1990s, Depp's brooding good looks, dark hair, sculpted cheekbones, and piercing eyes made him a heartthrob. He rarely smiled, but when he did, his teeth were immaculate. Over time, however, his lifestyle, marked by drinking and smoking, took a toll. In a 1995 interview with Premiere magazine, Depp candidly admitted, "I have a lot of cavities. I had a root canal 8 years ago." He even described the dental work as a poor stub, left unfinished. While he seemed unfazed by his declining dental health in the past, his recent transformation, complete with a gleaming new smile, suggests a conscious shift, one that fans are both noticing and celebrating. Johnny Depp has never been shy about his feelings toward perfect teeth, once quipping he'd rather swallow a tick than have them. Fans began noticing the condition of his own smile during a 2010 Alice in Wonderland press conference, where his teeth appeared yellowed, with what some described as a milky coating. Years of smoking certainly didn't help. In one interview, Depp joked about growing a second mouth just so he could smoke more. For his Pirates of the Caribbean role, he famously wore gold grills, and even after filming ended, he chose to keep them in. As he told David Letterman, every dental visit seemed to end in a recommendation for something drastic like a root canal, procedures he mostly avoided. Unfortunately, this often left his teeth in worse shape. By 2023, the situation had noticeably worsened. Photos of him smiling began to surface online, revealing dark and decayed teeth. Social media lit up. Dentists weighed in, and fans were divided. Some supported him, celebrating his presence at Cannes, where he received a 7-minute standing ovation, while others mocked his appearance, claiming his overly perfect smile looked artificial next to Amber Heard's. Depp, true to form, remained mostly silent. But change was on the horizon. In 2024, things began to shift. First, it was his hair. Then, friends and fans began noticing something even more surprising: his teeth. A video from a Bahamas vacation showed him working behind the bar at Lorraine's Cafe, grinning with noticeably brighter, healthier teeth. People online were stunned. Was that really Johnny Depp? It was, and news quickly spread. He had begun a full makeover, starting with dental work. According to sources, it marked the beginning of broader efforts to improve his appearance, including his skin and overall health. What was once a symbol of decline, his smile, had become the center of attention for all the right reasons. But Depp wasn't done surprising people. As fans were still buzzing about his new look, another moment went viral. He was photographed with Penelope Cruz at the Museo Reina Sofia in Spain, where they were taking a break from filming Day Drinker. The museum's official Instagram account posted the photo, showing the two stars smiling casually in front of an artwork. Fans went wild. Comments poured in. "He never gets old," one said. "It's great to see Johnny looking healthier and more relaxed," another added. One even wrote, "I can't believe how much younger he looks." The sight of Depp and Cruz together again evoked nostalgia. Some joked it was like watching Jack Sparrow and Angelica Teach back in action, or a scene straight from their 2001 film Blow. It was a moment of admiration as two celebrated artists stood before an iconic painting. "We love this duo," one fan gushed. The excitement was palpable as fans expressed pure joy at seeing Johnny Depp back in the spotlight, healthy, radiant, and creatively engaged once again. "Wow, just wow. So handsome, Johnny Depp," another admirer wrote. Gone are the days of lingering over past controversies. Johnny is now embracing the present and moving forward with Day Drinker on his own terms. His transformation hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans say he appears more grounded, more at peace, with a renewed clarity in his presence. He's taking selfies, diving into meaningful new projects, and simply enjoying life. This resurgence has been dubbed Johnny's Glow Up, not just for his appearance but for the energy he now radiates. It's clear, Johnny Depp is back, and he's savoring every moment of this new chapter. So, what do you think of his refreshed look? Are you curious to see him in a new light as the Silver Fox? Would you watch Day Drinker just to witness his evolution? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's rich tapestry. Enjoy the ride.